Hello, cat aspirants. Welcome to another part of Build the Cat series. Today, we'll be looking at the gymnastics problem from CAT 2024 DILR section. This is a purely reasoning question, and for those who want to solve along, please pause the video as required because hints will be coming in phases. So let's get started. I'll read out the problem first. So we have 8 gymnastic players, which are numbered 1 to 8, and they have undergone coaching with 3 different coaches, Zena, Yuki, and Zara. Also, we know that each coach has trained at least 2 players, and Yuki only trains even players, Zara only trains odd numbered players. Also, we know that after the camping, each coach has given each player an integer rating, which ranges from a scale of 1 to 7, with 1 being the lowest and 7 being the highest rating. We also have a lot of additional information here. So, quick tip for the CAT aspirants now. Whenever you see a problem with a lot of information in it, this is very important for you to understand what part of the information to pick up first. Because even if you pick up some random information first, you will be able to solve the problem, but it's going to consume more time for you. So, it's always very important to pick up the information that will give you a faster solution. So, one way to look at the information is what information can be read fast. So, just when I give this particular information a glance, I can see that the point number 4 and 5, they are of the shortest length. So, they catch my eye here. So, I'll read out the problem point number 4 first. So, the average of all the ratings of the players was 4, and the player 2 got the highest rating. So, just when I read this particular information, I understand that of all the ratings that I have from 1 to 7, the average is 4. So probably the value that is repeated might be 4, right? Because there are 7 ratings from 1 to 7. That is something, when I read this problem, that is what I think in my brain. That's what might be happening just by reading this particular sentence. And sentence 5 is pretty straightforward. That player 2 got the highest rating, which is 7. So player 2 has got the rating of 7. So this is, just in a click of a second, you should be able to grasp this particular information. And hence, what I am going to do is, now I'm going to focus on these red points first, which are related to the rating system. Because there are 2 different systems going on in this particular problem. One is related to the ratings, which are given to the players, and one is regarding which coach trained which particular player. So when now I read the problem, the statement number 3, I get the information that players 7 and 5, they were trained by the same coach and got the same rating, and all other players got a unique rating. So this further solidifies my understanding that the different ratings that the player achieved were 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because and 5 and 7 will get the rating of 4 because the average is 4. This is something that you should be able to calculate orally while you are reading the problem. So when you are reading the question, you should be able to identify what information to look at first, and using that information you should have at least some idea where you are going to progress with that particular information. So when you are reading this particular information, you should be able to focus on this particular information first regarding the rating system. So these particular 4 points, they are regarding the rating system. So we'll be focusing on this particular information first. So now we know that, let's start focusing on the rating information first. So player 5 and 7, they are trained by the same coach and have the same rating. All other players have a unique rating, and the average of all the ratings is 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tabularize all the ratings of all the different players now. So first thing which I know is player 5 and 7, they're trained by the same coach. And as discussed, right, as thought, now the ratings, as the average of the ratings is 4, therefore the rating set of all the players would be 1, 2, 3, 4 would be twice, and 5, 6, 7. So these are the 8 ratings that must be assigned to these 8 players. And we know 5 and 7, they have the same rating of 4. Therefore, 5 and 7 will have the rating of 4. Now, next we know that player 2 has the highest rating, which is 7. That's why player 2 has the rating of 7. Next information that we have regarding the rating system is that player 4 has double the rating of player 8 and it is less than player 5's. So we know that player 5's rating is 4. Therefore, the only possible options for rating of player 4 could be 1, 2, and 3 since 5, 6 is greater than 4. So now for 1, 2, and 3, since player 4 rating is double of player's 8, that means player 4's rating has to be an even number because it's double than the player's 8's rating. So the only possible even number from 1 to 3 is 2. That's the reason player 4 will have a rating of 2. And hence player 8 has half the rating of player 4 in this case. His rating would be 1. So player 4 has the rating of 2 and player 8 has the rating of 1. This is the information that we can solidify from the information that we have read till now. This is the only information that we have regarding the ratings of the player. So out of 8, 5 players, we know the rating of them now. There is no confusion there. Now, let's go to the next part of the information, which is regarding the coaching system, like which player was coached by which particular coach. Now, I have crossed out the information that we have already consumed so that now you are able to just see what information has been left for us to analyze. So the first information that we know about is that each coach has at least trained 2 players. Also, Yuki, he has trained only even number of players, while Zara, he has only trained odd number of players. This is a very vital piece of information for us. Also, we know that player 1 and 4, they are trained by the same coach, which we don't know yet which coach, but they are trained by the same coach. Also, the coach who trained 2, 3, and 5, they were all different. So we know that 2, 3, and 5 will be placed in under 3 different coaches now. So let's try to put, since we don't know which coach, train which players, for now we'll just call them coach 1, coach 2, and coach 3. So we know that player 1 and 4, they are trained by the same coach. So let us assume they are trained by coach 1. So we'll just put 1 and 4 for coach 1. But now we know that Yuki trained only even number of players, while Zara trained only odd number of players. And 1 and 4, one of the numbers is odd and one of the numbers is even. That means coach 1 cannot be Yuki and coach 1 cannot be Zara. That means coach 1 has to be Zenano. So we know that what information that we have got till now is player 1 and 4, they are definitely being trained under Zena. All right, this is the information that we have. Also, let's write down the player set now. So out of the 8 players, 1 and 4 are already been assigned. So just to know that what players are left for us to assign to. So for players that we have left now are 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8. These are the players which are yet to be assigned to any of the coaches. Now let's see the other part of the information. So player 2, 3, and 5, they are being trained under different coaches. And also player 5 and 7, they are being trained by the same coach. So now let us assume coach 2 is Zara and coach 3 is Yuki. Now player 2, let's return to player 2. So first of all, player 2, player 3, and player 5, now they will be assigned to Zena, Zara, and Yuki, one each, because they are assigned to different players. Now, since we know that player 2, 3, and 5, only player 2 is even now. And we know that Zara and Zena, they can take odd number of players, but Yuki can only take even numbered players. That's why we'll have to assign player 2 can be only assigned to Yuki in this case, because because 2, 3, 5, they have to go to different coaches and only one coach can take the even numbered players. So that is 2. So 2 let's put 2 under Yuki. That also information we can know. And we will cross out 2 from our player set. Now, let's consider player 3 and 5. So, one of them will go to Zena and another will go to Zara. But if 5 is being assigned to any one of these, then 7 will also go under the same coach. That is the information that we have. So, if I place player 5 under Zara or Zena, then let's see what happens. So if I place player 5 under Zena, then 7 will also go under Zena. Then the remaining players would be 3, 6, and 8, out of which only one is odd numbered, which is 3. So 3 will come under Zara. Anyways, they are being trained by different, so we know that 3 will come under Zara. So 6 and 8. So just think one step ahead now. So 6 and 8 would not be assigned to Zara because they are even numbered players. And we know that every coach has at least trained 2 players. So that's the reason 5 and 7 they cannot go to Zena. So in this case, 5 will go to Zara, and along with 5, 7 will also go to Zara. And then 3 will go to Zena. So I'm assigning 5 and 7 to Zara, and I'm assigning 3 to Zena. And the only players that are left are 6 and 8 now. So, and 6 and 8, since they are both even number, so they will go to either Zena or Yuki. So what we can say about Zara is now is we know both the players that are being trained by Zara. There are only 2 of those which are trained by Zara, and those are 5 and 7. So now we have utilized all the information that we had regarding coach and regarding training, like what particular rating has been assigned to which particular person, player. So this is all the information that we have. Now, the rating from rating set, what points that we have left are 3, 5, and 6. So these are the 3 ratings that are left, which are yet to be assigned to 3 players, 1, 3, and 6. And also, we don't know 6 and 8, these particular players to which coach they belong to. Other information we have already filled in. And the only point that we have left from the information that we have been given is the average of the players. So we know that the average rating of the players trained by Yuki was twice that the players trained by Zena, and 2 more that the players trained by Zara. See, this was the information point which we could not use initially because we were not aware of what ratings were there, what players were there under which coach. But now we have utilized all the other points, and hence we are looking at information towards the end. If you start looking from this information, you'll get stuck and you will not reach anywhere. So the sequence of where you are using the particular information, that is very important. So now let's start putting out the averages. So we know that there are only 2 players under Zara, and both of them have the rating of 4. So the coach average for Zara can be determined first, which is 4, which is a final value we are aware of because we already know which players are under Zara. Now, regarding players 6 and 8, we don't know because we are yet to be assigned. So the average we could not calculate for Zena first, Yuki first. Now, since the average for Zara is 4 and it's for average for Yuki is 2 more than that of Zara, we know that the average for Yuki would be 6 and the average for Zena is half that of Yuki. So we know that the average for Zena would be 3. This information is what we have. There is one more piece of information that we have, which is Zena has trained more players than Yuki. So now we have Zena and Yuki. So 6 and 8, these are the 2 players they are yet to be assigned now. So if I assign 6 and 8 both to Yuki, it's possible because Yuki can take even number of players. We'll have to assign one to Yuki at least because we know each coach has to train at least 2 players. But let us assign both of them to Yuki. So if I assign both of them to Yuki, in that case, Zena will have only 3 players and then Yuki will also have 3 players. So this particular condition will fail that Zena has trained more players than Yuki. So what we know from this information now is one of 6 and 8 will have to go to Zena, and one of them will have to go to Yuki. Both of them cannot go to Zena, and both of them cannot go to Yuki. So one each has to be assigned. Now, let's consider Yuki. So Yuki has two players under him, two and one between 6 and 8. And the coach averages 6. And we know that 2 has an average of 7 and 8 has an average of 1. So if I assign 8 to Yuki, then the average would become 4, which is not, which is 6. So that's why we'll have to assign 6 to Yuki. And since the average of 6 and two's rating is now 6, that means 7 along with 6 has to give an average of 6. That's why the rating that we are going to assign to 6 is 5. Because if we assign 5 to 6, then Yuki will have an average of 6, coach average of 6. Hence, we'll be assigning 5 to Yuki and we'll be assigning 6 to Yuki and 5 rating to player 6. So far, so good. Then what we know is 8 will go to Zena. That is something we can assign to Zena. So now we have all the coaches being assigned to all the players. And now regarding 3 and 6 as the rating, we know 1 and 3. So we don't have any concrete information that which rating to give to the 1 and 3. So 1 and 3 will have the rating of 3 and 6 or 6 and 3. Either ways, if you see the average for Zena, right? So 1, 3, they will have the values of 3, 6 or 6, 3. So 3 plus 6. Then 4 has the value of 2. So 3 plus 6 plus 2, that is 8. And 8 has the value of 1. So which is this way. So the average comes out to be here 11. 3 plus 6 plus 2 plus 1, which is 12, sorry. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. So we know that this particular average for Zena is also satisfied. So this is all the information that we can understand for this particular problem. And this is all the information that we can understand, analyze, and get it. So this is the final possible solution that we have. Now let's look at the problems that we have. Problems are simple once you have already solved the, once you have all analyzed all the information and you have tabularized it. So what best can be concluded about the number of players that are coached by Zara? So we know two players are coached by Zara, 5 and 7. So the answer would be option B, which is exactly 2. Next we have is what was the rating of player 7? So we know the rating of player 7 was 4. So if you see this, right, the first two questions, right, they were only based on assigning of 5 and 7 to Zara. Okay. The, so if you are only able to analyze the first part, so one trick for the cat, if you're only able to analyze half of the problem, still at least go and go through the questions. So how the cat pattern is designed is, out of the 5 questions, if there are for a particular set of DILR problem, in that case you will be only able to assign some of the particular questions based on some of the particular information. So if you're able to only solve half of the problem, still out of 5 you'll be able to at least solve 2 or 3 of the problems. So your effort which you have spent on that particular set of questions will not go totally waste. So always go and try to look at the problems also. So you'll be at least able to solve some of them. Now, what is the rating of player 6? So now you understand, right? If you are going and considering this question, right? If you are able to solve it at least 70 to 80%, then only you'll have an answer to this question. So if you are getting an answer to this question, probably you have solved it most of it. So we know that the rating of player 6 is 5. So the answer here is 5. Next, for how many players the ratings can be determined with certainty. So we know that out of the 8 players, 6 of them, ratings can be determined with certainty. But for player 1 and 3, it's still doubtful, like which of them will get the rating of 3 and which one of will get the rating of 6. The answer here would be 6. And the last question is, who all were the players trained by Zena? So we know that the players trained by Zena are 1348. So which is option B? So answer is option B. So this is how you solve this particular gymnast problem from CAT 2024. Hope you have learned something today. So the key takeaways are always look, the sequence from which you are solving the particular information, that is very important. So always try to look at the information, what information is shorter to read and easier to analyze. Always go with that information first. And while reading the problem, you should be able to understand that definitely, what your plan of action to solve is going to be. If you are not able to understand that after reading that one particular point in the information section, then probably that is not the information you should be starting off with. So always start off with the information from where you can at least imagine what the next step can be. So this is a trick that you can use to pick up what information you have to pick the from the problem first. Okay, so hope you have learned something from this particular problem and hope it helps you in your CAT journey. If you are a CAT aspirant and if you want us to focus on any of your problems, please send us to us in the comments below and we'll try and look at that problem and upload a video for the same. Till then, stay motivated, stay focused, and we will see you next in the upcoming episode of Build the CAT series.